Good morning, friends. How you doing? This is the Zero DTE Morning Market Analysis, and I'm a little bit behind the gun because the wife took off for Palm Springs to meet up with her gal pals. I just crushed my hand, and it's bleeding. And this week we have OPEC, which is the big issue. They have a big meeting coming up on Thursday. They're expected to increase production. That should bring prices down. However, last week we had a little bit of surprise on volatility, not volatility, inflation. It bumped up a little bit, but I think that's expected. And right now, the market has just continued to drop. I mean, we had that sustained drop, a little bit of what maybe have been a dead cat bounce, and then back down again. And so volatility has spiked, and that's a good thing. However, we're coming down to I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but really to go for the title of this show, we're hitting a structural level on volume profile where we have a huge volume well. I'll get into that in a bit, but why don't we go to it's over there. Do the charts. All right. So we do three things every morning. We take a look at the VIX to determine the width of our flies. Should we start considering Batman trades? We are starting to get up into that volatility level where Batman becomes a viable trade. Typically, what a Batman is, it's just above and below the market. Might also want to consider a 1 DTE on the Batman. That's been a very effective trade for us. But when you do put on a Batman, make sure that you push them further out than you normally would for a single out-of-the-money fly so that you can maintain that risk to reward. So that's an important point. But we're above 24 right now, deep into Goldilocks zone. See, you got to remember that volatility rising up, that is not a bad thing. That is like nirvana for us. That's why we call it the Goldilocks zone. All right. So we got that. We got our market direction. Directional bias is bearish for sure. Of course, if you're doing the Batman, that doesn't really apply. You're going above and below the market. You don't know which way it's going. But if you're doing a single out of the money fly, then we have a directional bias of bearish. And our structural levels, as I said, this is this 55.19. It's really like 55.10, I would say, is the bottom of that node. And we'll take a look at that in a second. But here are our structural levels. We are not looking for a bounce up. We are looking for a bounce down. Like this. Like that. Like on one of these levels. Like that. That's what we're looking for. All right? So if there's a pull up like that, then we'll look for... That's if you're taking a directional trade. Of course, if you're doing a Batman, you'd go above and below the market. All right. So let's see what else we have. We have the big news is this huge volume well, low liquidity. There really isn't super strong support. I mean, there's some here at 54.93 or so. But this is sort of the line of demarcation, is this 55.10 line. If we fall below there, the liquidity drops off dramatically. And if we got to see if we're going to probably challenge that, and we could potentially drop hard. There is strong support, believe it or not, at this deep volume crevice here, right at about 5,400. So that we're hoping, and you can see that it hit this level here way back in September. And actually, we had a gap up situation at that same level. So notice that in these low liquidity areas, how the daily bars, they really elongate. And that's because in low liquidity, I mean, that's what you should expect. There's super low liquidity, less resistance, bigger moves in the market. And that's one of the reasons why we're looking at the Batman, because we're expecting much bigger moves. As we can see, the bars have super extended in this kind of high volatility environment, but it will especially be true if we drop down into a volume well like this. All right. So that's what we've got ahead of us. Let's see. What else do we need to talk about? I made some notes. As I said, OPEC has their JMMC meeting on Thursday, I believe. Let's see, that's there's no economic reports today. On April 2nd, I see, yes. We also have ADP farm rolls, non-farm employment rolls. They're going to be looking for that. There's a forecast that's way above what they were looking at last time at 77K. Today, or this week, they're going to be looking for 118K. So they're looking for a huge increase in jobs. And if that disappoints, that could really send people reeling. Volatility, as I said, has surged to 24 after a wild ride over the past few weeks. We have ISM coming up, PMI, and we'll be looking at that. So it's a really a week packed with economic reports. Of course, if you want to know about how to rank these economic, I should go to the big head again. Let's see, where's the button? There it is. I'm back. So if you'd like to learn more about how to rank economic reports, I'm going to put a link down below, and you can download this. It'll be a Google sheet that will rank I think I've got about 50 different economic reports listed out there, exactly what they are, what their potential impact ranking is on markets. And so you can see the most impactful reports all the way down to the least impactful. So you'll be ready and understand, what to expect when these reports are released each morning. It's good to be a good study of that sort of thing, have that market situational analysis. I have a feeling that this week is going to be another extremely profitable week for us Zero DTE traders. We love volatility. I can't tell you how excited I am. Volatility is awesome. Anyways, if you'd like to learn more about our Zero DTE strategy, process, methods, go down below, click the link in the description for our school community. It's called the Zero DTE Academy. The entire strategy and process, everything's laid out there. Plus, there are 2 coaching calls every week. As a matter of fact, there'll be one coming up in a couple of hours, and you can take advantage of that. Super great value. All right, that's about all I have. This is going to be an exciting week. No economic reports, so it's kind of like up in the air. Market has dropped down over the weekend a little bit. We're teetering, like I said, to repeat, on that huge volume well below, which could just suck price right down. But we'll see what happens. These reports could come in strong, and then we could have a complete reversal. Who knows? It's all good. All right, so that's about it for me. I want to thank you all very much. Good luck trading this week. Coach Ernie